Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa, and this is my workshop. Well, I'll tell you, it's like 26 degrees outside. It's a cold winter day here on Long Island, and it's a good day to be holed up in your workshop or your work area, whether you're working on your kitchen table or wherever it is. It's a good day for model building when it's cold out like this. Let me show you something too while I'm talking about the temperature and the weather and so forth. This is a great thing to have in your work area. It gives you the temperature and the humidity and so forth. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, a lot of times I'll see guys who will ask questions about painting and the proper humidity and so forth. And, something like that is a great thing to have in your work area. It'll give you the humidity, and it'll let you know if it's a good day to paint or not. Usually, if it's below 70%, you can get away with it. Low to mid 60% range is a good painting humidity. Anything lower is certainly okay. If you get up above 70%, then it might get a little bit tricky. But I'll tell you the truth, I've painted with the humidity in the summertime above 70%, and I've always seemed to have gotten away with it. So anyway, you know what? I want to discuss something that's really exciting, okay? And what I'm going to discuss with you is glue. Right? I told you this is going to be exciting. You know what? If you're in this hobby, glue is exciting. So a lot of times I will see people ask the question, what glue should I use? There is not one universal answer to that. It depends on what you're working on. And what I mean is, if you're working on a windshield, for example, or any clear parts, you're going to want to use one specific type of glue. If you're just doing general assembly, you might want to stick with just contact cement. If you're dealing with something that's just not going together for you, then you might want to jump up to a super glue. So there's different glue applications for what you're working on at the time. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that with you. So hang on one second, all right? Okay, so we've got a whole lineup of glue down here. And as I mentioned, for general assembly, you probably want to just go with, your contact cement. Now, the one that I use is the Revel contact cement. I like, excuse me, I like this a lot. It flows relatively well through this little applicator here. And the applicator can get into, small areas. If I can get this out of here. Okay, into small areas like this. Okay, it works nicely. The one thing about this applicator is it does tend to clog, which is the reason why I have a whole bunch of these staples that are straightened out. Can you see that okay? Hang on, let me see if I can get there we go. Can you see that okay? I straightened out that staple, and then on this end, I left a little right angle, so it acts as a handle for this applicator. I can get it in and out relatively easy, okay? And that seems to work with helping the clogging issue in the tip. So, the other thing you can do is I keep a bunch of plastic coated paper plates down here. So if you're using a glue, like the old standby testers, okay, and I'll take some glue and I will put it out on that little plastic coated paper plate, and I'll use a toothpick. All right, I've got a toothpick here someplace. There you go. And I'll just dip the tip of the toothpick into the glue, and then I can put it down into a little area like I just showed you, all right? And it'll, kind of act the same way. Plastic coated paper plates are a great thing to have in your workspace, because in addition to using it for glue, a lot of times what I'll do if I'm touching up a very small area, for example, I'll put just a tiny little bit of paint on the paper plate, and then in many cases, I'll go right back to this toothpick, and I can dab just a tiny little bit of paint on the tip, and I can just get into that little spot that needs a touch up. So, plastic coated paper plates, absolutely a great thing to have in your work area. And I think that when I was demonstrating the airbrush a while ago, I had mentioned testing your paint color and so forth on plastic spoons. And what you can do with the plastic coated paper plates is you can spray over the paper plate itself to see how the airbrush is performing, testing the color or whatnot. It just gives you a little bit of a larger surface to test on for paint than the spoons. So, good idea to keep that in your workshop. As you can see, there's a bunch of glues here. Even the old standby Elmer's glue. Remember that? And, I'll continue on with that since I'm holding it. The reason why Elmer's glue is valuable is because it dries clear. If you remember Elmer's glue, it's white, but believe it or not, it will dry clear. So if you're putting in something like a windshield, for example, Elmer's glue is a possibility. There's a number of other glues that will dry clear. Your canopy glue is one. I use the Evergreen canopy glue quite a bit, and that dries clear. Testors has a clear glue as well. These are just a few examples. By no means are these your only choices. These are just a few. I've even got Plastroc Bondine back here, and I've got other stuff on the other side of the workshop. There's a lot to choose from. So, do your homework, talk to others on different forums on Facebook or Reddit. Different people will give you their opinion on what they like to use and how they use it. Another glue that is very good is the Tamiya Extra Thin. Hey, Adam. Hey. How you doing? Yeah. I got the grandchildren here. It's Saturday. Every Saturday, the grandchildren are here. It's just me now. Oh, it's just you? Okay. It's just Adam right now. I guess the rest of them are still upstairs. Yeah. The Tamiya Extra Thin works really, really well, but I'm going to go over this with you for 1 second because in the past, I have mentioned that I pre-paint my parts. Okay, I think I've showed you this before. And if you have pre-painted parts, okay, and you need to glue two pieces that are painted, you would not want to use this. And the reason for that is because this glue will take the paint off, all right? So if you have a sub-assembly, for example, let's go back to this engine here. This engine, all right, comes in two halves. You've got, right and left half. And if you want to glue that together while it's still bare plastic, then this would be an excellent option for that. What this will do is it will actually weld the pieces together. And what I mean by that is your two pieces that are going to be put together, it softens the plastic on each side, okay, where you put the Tamiya Extra Thin. It softens it. And when you put the two pieces together, it will reharden, but when it rehardens, it'll harden together. It fuses it. So it's like a welding process almost. So it's really not adhering because of stickiness. It's a welding process. I hope that made sense. But again, use that on bare plastic that has not been painted yet. All right. And this also has a capillary action. And what I mean by that is if you put this glue into a seam, all right, for example, a seam like this, let's say this is all bare plastic, hasn't been painted yet, and I put this in here, I can run the brush. There's a little brush in here, okay? Can you see that okay? If I run that brush right down that seam, it'll actually get sucked into the seam, and the capillary action, it'll spread. All right, so it works very nicely. But again, use it on unpainted pieces. Okay. A big thing that comes up a lot of times is if you're putting in a windshield, for example. What happens if you get glue on your windshield? Well, when you're done stomping around and using a couple of choice words, okay, there are a couple of things you could try doing. What I have found in the past where I've done that is I'll use a little bit of baby oil, okay, and I will use a toothpick. All right, and I will put a little bit of baby oil on the area where I have the glue. And before I do the baby oil routine, I'll take a very high grit sand paper or sanding stick. Okay, maybe 8 or 10,000, and very lightly go over the offended area without without scratching the areas outside of the offended area. And then I'll come in with a little bit of baby oil on the toothpick, and I'll just gently kind of massage this. You don't want to come in here like a dagger and start, scratching the glue off, because then you're just going to do more damage. You have to very lightly massage this with the point of the toothpick with the baby oil, and you will find, look, this takes time. It's not like you come right up here and do this and it comes right off. It doesn't work that way. You have to be patient. You have to go slow. But if you do that, hey, Liam, how you doing? Okay, I got the rest of the grandchildren coming down. You have to take your time and massage this, and you will get most of it off. I can't tell you you'll be able to get all of it off all the time. I have gotten it all off in the past. It depends on your situation at hand. But if you can't get all of it off, I suppose getting most of it off is better than nothing. So that's just an option, okay? I'll tell you something else since I'm holding on to this about replacing a piece that maybe the glue is just so bad that you just can't salvage it. Well, something like that happened on this particular window. I got glue on here, and I did exactly what I just said not to do. I came in here and I got a little overzealous, probably because I was mad, and I went at it and I scratched the whole thing up and just made it worse, okay? Don't build mad, all right? And it's all happened to us in the past. If you've been doing this long enough, you're going to have a boo-boo. And when you make a boo-boo, your level of frustration begins to build, and sometimes you get outright mad. And there are times when you get so mad, you just want to throw this thing across the room and stomp on it. Don't do that, okay? So bottom line is, never build mad. If you feel frustration starting to build up, take a break, walk away. Even if you have to walk away and come back the next day, just get away from it for a little while, whether it takes a few seconds, a few minutes, a few hours, or maybe a few days, whatever it takes. But don't build mad, because then you end up making rash decisions, which makes it worse. And then you end up getting even madder, and it just feeds upon itself. So just take a break and walk away. All right. So anyway, what I did here, when I was able to get past being mad and analyze the situation that I had here, I found something laying around my workshop. Where is it? I thought I had it here. It was a piece of plastic. Let me see. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Here it is. It was a piece of plastic like this. Can you see that? It wasn't this piece of plastic. In fact, this piece of plastic is kind of dirty, but I'm just holding this up as an example. The piece of plastic that I found the day that I messed this up, all right, was a nice, clean, clear piece of plastic. And what I did was I made a template from this opening, okay? And then I cut it out, the plastic from the packaging. I cut it out to the shape of this window, and I installed it. And actually, that is exactly what this is. This is the exact plastic that I cut out. So there are always options, if you have a boo-boo. You just need to be able to think clearly, and that's why you need to walk away sometimes, because when you're standing at the workbench at the time of the boo-boo, you tend to allow anger and frustration take over instead of allowing your rational ability to analyze the situation. I had a situation a while ago with it was a while ago, so I can't really remember what it was with, but it was a warped chassis. And what I did with that was hold on, let me see if I can grab this. Hold on, I'm still here. I took 2 of these clamps, all right? And I actually clamped the chassis. Can you see that down there? You can't see that. But I clamped the chassis to the workbench, all right, in the front. And then in the back, I clamped it again, because if you clamp the front, the back kind of goes up, and I'm dropping everything. And I left it that way for, I don't know, a couple of days. And believe it or not, it worked. You also have the option, if you have a broken piece or a missing piece even, to go back to the manufacturer. I have done that 3 times, as a matter of fact. Once with Revel, Tamiya, and AMT, which is owned by Round 2. So if you have a kit from AMT or MPC, they are owned by Round 2. And I sent emails to all 3 at the time of my problem, and Tamiya and Revel responded, I think, in the same day, and I had my part within about a week or 10 days. Round 2 took a couple of days to respond, but they did respond. And it took them a couple of weeks to get the part to me, but they did get the part to me. So, if you have no other recourse, that's what I would suggest. Contact the model maker. And, for me, I've had very good results with the model makers. So anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up, and this is kind of a short video today, but I hope this helped. I saw a lot of questions regarding glue and so forth on some of the Facebook pages and Reddit and different forums and so forth. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave me some comments, and please subscribe. That really helps the channel a whole lot if you subscribe. It takes a second. Doesn't cost you anything, no commitments, nothing. You just hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell. That would be great. And of course, you can always send me feedback on my Facebook page. Papa's Model Workshop is on Facebook, or if you want to drop me an email, it's papasmodelworkshop@gmail.com. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.